The president of Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro, addressed the people in commemoration of the International Workers' Day. Colombian President Gustavo Petro announced the Latin American country will officially cut relations with Israel for its genocidal actions against Palestine. And in the United States, at least 100 students were arrested in the framework of the protest held at the University of Colombia in support of the Palestinian cause. Hello and welcome to From the South. I'm Alejandra Garcia from teleSUR Studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. Social, political and trade union movements in different countries around the world commemorate International Workers' Day with demonstrations and strikes. This May 1st, as every year, millions of workers around the world take to the streets in commemoration of the date. People celebrate the achievements obtained through the struggles for the respect of labor rights throughout the years. On this day, workers also pay tribute to those who gave their lives to achieve many of the labor rights that are now considered fundamental. Citizens take the occasion to make visible the claims of workers in the face of unwillingness of big corporations to guarantee them. The president of Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro, addressed the people in commemoration of the International Workers' Day. During his speech, Maduro highlighted the achievements of the Bolivarian government and praised the Venezuelan farmers for the increase in the food production in the country. Let's have a listen.
And we can say today that in Venezuela has born a new economical model with diversity that warranties the growth. First place, we have warranted the self-sufficient in 100% on the internal market of the country with national production. 100% the food of Venezuela is produced here, thanks to who? To the countryside men, to the producers of the field.
In another part of his address to the Venezuelan people, Maduro denounced the United States government's intention to impose a Venezuela colonialist model and stressed the Venezuelan people's firm decision to never allow that to happen.
The United States government pretends to impose a colonialist model. Which country can accept that to produce their own oil in their own land, to get through ships and ask another country for sanctions? Can Venezuela accept this model where we have to go to the United States to ask for licenses to produce our own oil? Never. We will never accept this. Never.
In Argentina, the labor movement back on the streets this May 1st to question the labor reform and the whole of the ley basis project promoted by President Javier Milei. The Co-Secretary General of the General Confederation of Labor, Pablo Moyano, spoke this May 1st and pointed out against the national government and the draft ley basis, which yesterday was passed by the Chamber of Deputies. During the march, the leader of the CGT ratified that the general strike of May 9th will be historic. Moyano added that the so-called omnibus law gives away workers' rights through the labor reform. The demonstrators of the different unions marched along Paseo Colón and Independencia avenues and were joined by piqueteros organizations. More than 70 demonstrations take place on Wednesday in Spanish cities for Workers' Day. The union's Unión General de Trabajadores and Comisiones Obreras took to the streets under the slogan for full employment, shorter working day, better wages, to ask the government for more progress in the political and social agenda. Workers have focused on improving working conditions and the defense of a reduction of the working day that does not imply a wage cut. The union leaders pointed out that Spain is growing a lot, but that the wealth that is being generated must be better distributed. In New Delhi, the Communist and Marxist Party of India on Wednesday saluted the workers of the world on their day, especially those who struggle to defend their rights against capitalism. In a message on the social media X, the Indian political organization extended one fraternal greeting to the international working class, India began celebrating Labor Day on May 1, 1923 in Chennai. The day was first observed by the Kisan Labour Party of Hindustan and is considered a public holiday in the country, and also known as Kamgar Divas. Meanwhile, in South Korea, members of the Korean Confederation of Trade Unions demonstrated against the government's labor policy. Union leaders expressed that this day is an opportunity to openly criticize the labor conditions imposed by the conservative government of President Yoon Suk-yeol. Demonstrators also accused the government of aggressively handling the protests and strikes of different labor sectors in recent years, highlighting the suspension of licenses of more than 9,000 doctors earlier this year. In this same context, the government announced the deployment of 10,000 police troops to different points in Seoul to break up the demonstrations. Welcome back to From the South. On Wednesday, the Russian armed forces destroyed headquarters of a southern operational command of Kyiv regime troops. According to the Russian Defense Ministry, during the operation, military personnel and equipment of the Ukrainian troops were hit in 112 areas. It also detailed that the air defense means eliminated Ukrainian drones, as well as 5 French-made Hammer-guided aerial bombs and 1 projectile of the Uragan multiple rocket launcher system. United Kingdom police detained the first undocumented migrants to be deported to Rwanda as part of a controversial immigration plan. Local media indicated that several asylum seekers who attend routine appointments with the British Home Office were detained to be sent to Rwanda. Meanwhile, the military entity assures that the arrests are being carried out under operations that will last for more than 11 weeks at national level. The actions have caused citizens to hold demonstrations and against the deportations all over the country in front of the immigration centers. In Kenya, authorities report at least 169 dead and 90 missing as a result of the persistent rains and floods since mid-March. According to updates from the Ministry of Interior, the number of victims increased after the collapse of a dam in Mai Mai, northeast of the Kenyan capital, due to the accumulation of water, which left at least 46 dead. The storm has also left 190,000 people affected, in addition to damage to roads and other communication routes and the destruction of agricultural crops. Meteorologists indicated that the torrential rains affecting West African countries are due to the incidence of the meteorological phenomenon known as El Niño. Saudi Arabia closed schools on Wednesday in several parts of the country where heavy rains caused flash floods and made access to some roads difficult. In this regard, the National Meteorological Center issued